Hey, what's good, everyone? I'm going to go ahead and do an update on the trades here at the beginning of the video, and then what I covered with the students will come next. But I had set this zone to put a pending order. I wasn't awake to call the signal, so after it closed lower, I got everyone in the GU. I would have rather had the tighter trade and the bigger R&R, but so I only risk 0.5% per trade, so it doesn't matter. Whatever you risk is what you risk. You're going to lose the same amount, whether it's just the smaller stop loss or the bigger. The thing is, your R&R that pays out is going to be different. So right now we are in GU sales. So I'll show you what I'm talking about. Your stop loss making a difference. So like if we had entered here, this trade would be almost 4R. Okay. But since we entered it here, I'm gonna have to go look. I'll show you how to figure that out. Let me just hit the undo. Excuse me. So since we entered here on that candle close, I was right the first time. So instead of 4R, we're at 2R. So you see how that stop loss cut our profits in half. So we are at, unless you use, just like a set lot size, but since I use risk to reward, I'm only at 2R versus 4R. So GU is running in profit still. US30 after we got off finally gave us the move we were looking for. We got in at London and then got in again at New York, the exact same entry. So both are at like 2.6. So that's a little over 5R on US30. NAS from yesterday, some people are still holding a runner. I showed them what they could use as a break and retest to get another entry there. But some people are still in the runner, sideways action. Like I was saying, I think if they do this, we could do this down to retest and then smart money, big money get back in, or from maybe here. Remember, it's when time meets price. It's when time meets price. It's going to depend on where price is tomorrow and where they want to price themselves in with the news. If they want to price themselves in to go higher with the news, then, this could just do this and then get here. Or if they want to sell off with tomorrow's news and price themselves in Friday's news, we could get this. So, but you can continue watching. I just wanted to give an update on the signals and where we are. These signals were dropped. Give me 1 second. Let's see if I got my Telegram up. They're dropped right here in the signals chat. So these are actual trades that are dropped. Alrighty. And mine is being managed by my trade assist. And you'll see that later on in the video. Have a good day. Oh, keep watching. Like and subscribe. I never do that. I never do like the other people say like and subscribe, turn on notifications. So I guess I should say that fancy stuff, but I'm just here to teach. So definitely like, subscribe, share our content, and thank you so much for watching. Continue to watch. Good morning, everybody. It's Gigi ForexNChill. I am the signal. Trading involves risk. Never risk more than you can afford to lose. All right, let's look at markets. All right, we are in US30 sales. I took my first position last night during London, and you see it fell about 500 pips, came back, mitigated, and it's falling again. How many of you are in the trade? Are y'all in the trade with me? Hopefully, because I dropped it. And I've been keeping y'all updated. Good morning. Y'all can speak. Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good
Morning.
All right, because this is like not a teaching session that we upload to the academy, so we can all talk here. GBPUSD, so I gave us a bad entry but I trusted the analysis. The reason I said give a bad entry is because while I was asleep, it tapped in to my zone and started falling. So we would have had a much better risk to reward had we just set a pending there. And that's why I'm trying to work y'all towards pendings. Is anybody in this trade? Anybody in
I
the
just
trade?
hopped out, hit my TP, so I'm done.
Oh, you took your TP and got, okay. Somebody said they got in. All right. Because it did do a pullback earlier. So my NAS, I'm salty because it kicked me out, but in profit. So I took it off my open trades. Let's see what it's doing. So, I'm expecting it to continue doing like a lot of consolidation and maybe dropping. Tomorrow there's news. Like I got on, how many of y'all get on the Smart Money Divergent sessions with Money Coach? Y'all know I trade a lot of indices and I use regular divergence, but I never incorporated the Smart Money Divergence. So I'm getting on with him to try and see the difference in the two. That way I can call the cleaner setup. I had already called US30 before I got on with him this morning, just based on price action alone. So let me go to my trade assist. So trade assist took me out of the NAS and it's running. This is that same prop challenge that I showed yesterday. And had I closed them myself, I would have made a couple $100 more, but I just wanted to let the automation do all the work. One thing I didn't mention yesterday, you can take a trade on your MT4 at like a 0.01 or MT5 on your cell phone, and it will activate the trades and give you your your correct lot size based on risk. Again, I'm only trading at 0.50. It's opening 3 positions, one at 0.525. I need a pen to write with. One at 0.15 and one at 0.10. I don't know any of that fancy math they got going out now, but that adds up to 0.5. So that's why you see the multiple lot sizes. But again, if you're afraid of using Trade Assist because you're not at home, if you have it set up on a VPS and running, you can open a 0.01, or like this prop firm only allow me, this broker only allow me to open up 0.10, and then it calculates the rest. Okay, so I opened like a 0.10 and it did the rest. So that is the Trade Assist managing my trades. I'm just doing this to see how to adjust my settings. I showed y'all the settings I have yesterday of how it trails. So it just went shy of not taking me out earlier today. We still have 9:30 open coming, so I don't know how this market's going to move. There's no news today, so nothing to give us a good move, a good boost of volume, except just hoping it breaks structure and comes to take some of this downside liquidity. Yes, the market is overall bullish. Yes, this is a counter trend trade. Let me get this back on the correct time frame. So yes, we are counter trend trading. It's 15 minutes before New York Open. Let's see, the day could end up like this. I was hoping we could come down and at least grab this liquidity, and that would give us a nice trade. I wanted to see it retest the candle closure of, what is this, Friday? So are any of you still in the buy from Friday? Anybody still got runners on the buy? I closed mine out Friday, and y'all saw as soon as I closed it, it started dropping. So this position, our first position went a 16.4 R, and our second position went a 10.6 R. We'll just call it, it's a little over 27 R. We'll just call it 26 R. Let's see. Did anybody hold any of the buys?
I didn't.
Did y'all get out Friday? I got out Friday on the US30 buys. Neil City closed Friday. Lynette closed Friday. So this is definitely a counter trend because the market is so bullish. Donna closed Friday too. So right now it's being nice to us, but 9:30, we'll see what happens. I hate giving big stop losses, but because everybody having different brokers and different prices, I try to add, and y'all see on my trade assist, it adds the spread, which gives me a worse RR. I might go in and remove that part because it adds that extra. If you got like 180 pips, 180 point spread on your broker, it adds it. Because if you don't understand that, let's just say here is your stop loss. If the market comes here and there's like 180 pips of spread between here and there, it will knock you out of the trade here. So it'll, on your chart, it'll look like your stop loss did not get hit, but it's because they priced in the spread. So you got your ask and your bid, and the spread will have the difference in there and it will take you out. So in case some of you wonder why it gets close to your stop loss and takes you out, or close to your TP and doesn't hit, because they use that spread against you to make their money.
Fuck you, motherfuckers.
That's why I prefer lower spread brokers or no spread. I would rather pay a commission and know that my
Imagine.
going to get expected. Let me mute somebody. So I make a list over here of open trades, so I'll know what I have on the board since I'm out of NAS. I removed it, but again, there's GU. I wanted a much tighter stop loss, but it activated while I was asleep. And I woke up and I saw that this had closed lower. So I went ahead and got us in. By the time I typed it out, it had, the new hour had started dropping. So if some of you had the trade assist copying signals, it should have you at break even, probably according to your settings. Now, I forgot to draw it on my hot zone because I'm trying to do one prop firm with just hot zone and one with just TA. So I forgot to draw it. And then I tried to draw it this morning to see if it would activate, and it hadn't activated. But I had a trade yesterday that I forgot that I had running, and it took it, and I guess I have my trailing too tight on GJ, because GJ played out up there at my zone, but you see it got me out early. So
I just took a short on that one.
did you? You got back in at this order block?
I did.
So once I have like 2 signals running on y'all, I don't drop anymore because I don't want people to overtrade or have too much risk on the table. So that's one thing we try not to do unless I put like half risk, and I don't think I put half risk on any of these. So if you had a copier, trade copier copying it, you had 2% on the table. The one from yesterday was break even, and we had taken partial profits, so I don't calculate that into open trades. Like in our signals chat, we have like a little sidebar where we try to keep up with what trades are open, because I tell them not to have more than 3% risk on the table. So if I have 2 trades at half risk, I'm only calculating that as 1%. So we have room to call a couple more trades, because everybody's not going to be able to get every trade. The only way you're going to get every trade is if you have a trade copier, or as if you're always awake. So we got 10 more minutes on waiting for the open. So whenever you're looking at the chart from 9 to 9:05, you should be following 5-minute price action. Then from 9:05 to 9:15, follow 15-minute price action. So now that the 15-minute has closed, we start following 30-minute price action. And so the 30-minute is trying to take out this 30-minute low. So for a nice push, I would want to see this close lower. Like yesterday, the reason I held that NAS is because even though it gave a big pullback, it had closed lower. So again, they're doing like a complex pullback. They're not doing a straight sell-off where you get a break and then a retest. They did a break and they're doing this, which is a hard market to trade because it plays with you psychologically, it plays with your discipline, plays with your patience, because the trade doesn't just immediately happen. Like, see here yesterday, US30 did the hard retest. So I wish I had caught it yesterday. But now it's doing more of like a channel. So we got a high, a low, we got a lower high. So I would want to see now a lower low. So that's why I'm in this trade right now. Floating spread, that means they're going to change it like around news and volatility. I hate floating spread because like you could have, you see that happen with a lot of Asian pairs that the switch over. You could have a spread that's normally like 5, which is half a pip. But during high volatility, it might go up to 1-0, which is a pip, or 2-0, which is 2 pips, which is 4 times the normal spread. So that's floating spread. That means they're going to change it. It's not going to stay consistent. And so that's why a lot of times with EAs, it's hard to get a good gauge because of the floating spreads and stuff. Let's see. I didn't really want to trade today, but I was like, I saw this setting up and got us in early in London. My grandson is texting from school, needing money. It sounds like the HOA is out there working, so I'm on mute while I'm not talking. He's learning how to trade Dyna. I've had to stay on him about it. You know how young boys are. He's always like, oh, he starts studying and then stops. So, you know, I'm motivating him to spend more time. I told him, like I was telling y'all in the chats, even if our kids and spouses learn how to use hot zone, they could make some good money just learning the supply and demand zones and using hot zone. Because you see how well these zones play out most of the time. The key is knowing how to find high probability order blocks or high probability S&Ds. Come on, GU. So our first TP was right here. It's moving slow, but there's DXY news tomorrow. So I didn't anticipate a lot. Like I said, if we get an aggressive move, and I was discussing this with Money Coach today. So we had the daily break, like I mentioned yesterday. We're up here. There's news tomorrow. So this could consolidate and then use news to come grab this liquidity and go up. Or we could get a complex pullback and then use the news. They could be pricing themselves in. So like big money that causes the big moves, you know, they'll close out positions. And then when price comes back, they'll stack on more positions at a low for the next push. I really just wanted to see what this 9:30 open is going to do. So Dinah, if you want to type in the signals chat, they can move to break even before 9:30 news drops. And trade ideas. It's not signals. It's trade ideas. I haven't traded gold because it's not at a zone that I want it to be at. Let me see what it's doing. See if my on gold. I want to tag it up here. I saw somebody call gold buys this morning. I'm like, nah. You see, this is a complex pullback. This is what I'm talking about. You got a low, a high, a lower low, a lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Now it could break here. If it breaks and does that, then I would be interested in it. But I'm trying to get like this retested. Here's the draw on liquidity that I'm interested in. Now down here, I would be looking for a reason to buy. You see, we had a lower time frame break and retest, probably a lower time frame order block here. And then you got the continuation. So this is the order block that caused the extension, break of structure. Got hidden liquidity in there that retested, went up. And like I said, you don't have to trade patterns. I draw it on here to train your eyes to what the market is doing. You don't ever have to put a trend line on your chart. What's important are the key levels to where the market movers are getting in and out of the market. Chelsea, I'm gonna make you co-host. Thank you. I just saw your message. Right, and there goes my puppies. And you've probably seen him on all over social media. It's a little annoying self. All right, let's see. But that's why I'm not trading gold right now. It's not where I want it to be. Yeah, this puppy was supposed to be for my grandkids, but y'all see where he is. If he keeps barking, I'm gonna have to go lock him up until I get him off his little kennel. He's got a big kennel he can walk around in. It's not like a little cage or anything. So we are getting some pullback. See if there's any liquidity here. Everybody should be at break even. So you should be risk-free. An order block there that broke this. This became a breaker block that tapped into that. This order block has been mitigated. So they could come like here or here. I hope they don't. That they leave that for tomorrow. There we go. Come on, Dirty. Look at all this manipulation going on. They're hurting everybody's feelings right now, confusing people. I was telling someone a lot of my trades sometimes are just based off market psychology, understanding, the manipulation, and I'll get in even though there's not like a traditional confirmation. I'm just looking at the market psychology of what they're going to do to try and take everybody's money. And that's something that you only get from looking at the charts a lot. There we go. See, they trick people to open additional sales. There's still liquidity up here. Let's see, there's some up there. But I'm not gonna, there's been times I would have chased that. I'm not going to. It could end up buying, which is why we went break even on our sales, because it is a bullish market. There we have it. So now I won't make another bias until I have a higher time frame close. So let's see what they could be going after on the higher time frame. It's again, it's a day pre-news, so they could just keep doing the whipsaw and taking out both sides, or if they give a solid close, end up going higher, but it's too soon to tell. We are in the last half of the H1, and you see how this 1 hour candle keeps switching from buy to sell. It's a manipulator's market today. I don't like trading days like today, but since I had got in that trade during London, I was hoping it would give a better play, and I didn't want to trade New York today because sometimes London will give a good move. But I quit chasing the lower time frame stuff and started watching for closes on higher time frame. So now look, that big move to the upside. I'm still in US30. I didn't move mine up because I'm just risky like that. I only risked 0.5%, so. Anybody still in the cells?
Oh, I'm out.
It did exactly what I thought it was going to do. I started to call re-entries. Anybody else in? Neil's still in. Yeah, y'all. I can tell the ones that's been trading with me for a while. And that is why we leave a runner. That's why I set the TA up to open 3 positions. So let's see. So it closed one of my positions in profit. So I'm up almost 1% on this account. I just started trading it yesterday and it went like 1.5%. Had I taken the GU, so I'm just trying to trade it nice and slow, guys, because like I told y'all, I learned from being on the leaderboard and being aggressive and all that crap. I do better just being low risk. I trade better long term. So let's see. It closed out. Babu. It closed out 56, 55, and 131. I had opened 2 positions at half risk. So that's what it closed out on my trades. And let's see. It moved it moved my other 2 to break even. So whatever happens now, I won't have a loss. Whatever happens now, I won't have a loss. But it'll trail them. It won't move up the trailing until it's 2R now. I think I have it set to move up again at 2R. Let me go put my puppy in his carrier. I'll be right back. All right, I am back. So those are the 2 trades that are still active in the signals chat. US30 is doing what I expected. It's just going to be a choppy market. Let's see if NAS ever started dropping again. Anybody still in the NAS, or did it take everybody out? The one from yesterday. If you went break even, I know it kicked you out. Look at that. I started to re-enter that too. but I didn't. Trying to play it safe. It's like I'm trying to practice what I preach. I've done account flips and all that. But I'm trying to, like I told y'all, I wanted to trade more with y'all this year and teach you good habits. Lynette, you're still in NAS. Kuru, you're still in NAS. Dinah's still in NAS. So some of y'all still in NAS. Okay, I'll keep updating it since people are still in it. Let's see, GJ. GJ zigzags a lot, but when it plays, it plays. When it drops, it drops. It gives good moves. So I had marked this zone for entry. It's in the middle of two zones. A good re-entry would have been this right here because it broke this low here. It closed below. You had a body close below caused by this. So you could have re-entered on this. But we had a high, a low, a high, a low, and then lower high, lower low. And you could have taken an order block entry or what some people call a base candle. So you could have used that for an entry on GJ. It's still consolidating a lot. I like more aggressive breaks, and honestly, I like 4-hour breaks. So we haven't had a 4-hour break. Let me see how it looks on a higher time frame. So the higher time frame, it took out the previous daily liquidity. Yeah, we used to pick on this guy by the way he said liquidity. Now I swear I've had trouble saying it right ever since. That's God. He's like, don't pick on people, because he could not say liquidity to save his life. Some of y'all know who I'm talking about. I'm gonna be nice. He was a scammer. Forgive me, God. But I see you laughing, Chelsea. I knew you'd be laughing. Like, the reason we picked on y'all, I don't condone bullying, and I think it's not nice. But he was such a scammer. I'm like, how you gonna try and steal something you can't even pronounce? Like, he was really scamming people. He did some dirty stuff. So I was kind of mad. Y'all know how I am when the mama bear comes out in me. I don't like nobody scamming traders. I'll talk about them. All right, let's see, US30. Are you gonna give me some more money today? Looks like it's gonna try. So did anybody take both entries? If you took both entries, you got about 1,200 pips. Because I called the London entry, then the New York retest. All right, anybody got any questions? Today was just gonna be short and sweet. I wanted to see this US30 with y'all. Again, well, I guess I can add NASDAQ since some of y'all are still in that, so I can keep you updated on it. I'm mad because I had good profits too, and that pullback got me. And look, see how it's grabbing that liquidity. So I'm still learning the smart money divergence. ICT taught it, and when I was in his mentorship, I'm still in his mentorship on this closed private group. And like I'm always honest, I don't study and trade all his concepts, but I'm trying to do that little fancy smart money divergence thing that Money Coach shows y'all. Why? Because I'm calling signals when I'm just trading for me. So I'll show y'all the kind of stuff he looks at. Like here, who's on his sessions? Why does that? Why does that? Why does that? So that's why I felt like US30 was going to be the cleaner play. Anybody?
that what
No,
they call the fair value gap? Imbalance?
no. Who's
No.
on the Thursday night sessions? What
Uh,
y'all can draw it on the chart, y'all can drop it in the chat, or y'all can say something. Why was the US30 the clean? Ooh, look at that. I'm sorry. NAS honestly was the cleaner play. I said that backwards, y'all. I'm sleepy. NAS was the cleaner play. Crap. Why was NAS the cleaner play? Anybody? Let's see if somebody put it in the chat. But what kind of divergence? Was it regular or hidden? You had a high, a low, a lower high, a lower low. That's regular divergence. Hidden divergence went the opposite way for the continuation. Wait, that is US. See, y'all, I am so sleepy. This is US30, and this is the one we're in. I looked up here where it says NAS. I told y'all, I woke up in the middle of the night, couldn't sleep, was calling trades. So US30 was, that's the reason I called the US30 signal, because we had the hidden divergence. Man, do I need to edit this recording? I sound, Dinah said I'm asleep too. I only had a nap. I know Dinah was up during London. See, I don't even know what session it is. I'm tired, y'all. Gigi is tired. So yeah, it's got me another, I guess position 2 is going to close here. That's the trade assist. This is not me. I'm not touching these trades. I'm not adjusting stop losses. I'm not adjusting TPs, nothing. I'm letting the trade assist do all the work because I want to pass this challenge using just the trade assist. All right. I'm going to look and check on my challenge because I hadn't even checked it since I started it. Just so nobody will say, what is that y'all say? Cap? Is it capping? What's the new word y'all young people use? Gigi don't know. I don't keep up
No,
with that.
she didn't just say.
Y'all know how I am. Am I getting litty? What am I getting right now? Am I getting jiggy or litty? No cap.
Keep this in the recording.
Hey, I'm getting jiggy with it. That's now. See, I know I'm getting jiggy with it. Do y'all young folks know I getting jiggy with it is? We had our words back in the day too. I'm mad at my GU. Donna said it's time for bed, ma'am. Let me tell y'all, I always told people whenever I am sleep deprived, I be saying and doing some crazy stuff. I be getting like straight crazy. All right, so tell me if you can see my top tier. And the reason I'm not trading FNC, guys, is because if I were to trade in FNC and get a payout, people would claim it was a ripoff or that it was manipulated. So I said, let me go trade somewhere else. So my win rate is 100%. I've been trading 2 days. And I'm up 1.85%. I'm only aiming for 1% a day. So y'all want to see my credentials? It's a 50K challenge, and I bought it for the purpose of using the trade assist. I wanted to use the trade assist to fully manage, because I want people to understand the importance of risk management and trade management and how powerful this tool is. Okay. So I'm trying to be very careful and go low risk at 0.5% per trade and use the tools that I promote. Okay. You know how the bald hair guy used to say, I'm not only the president, I'm a client, and he had the hair restoration. Some of y'all old folks might remember that. I think it was Bosley, hair replacement for men. This guy came out bald, and then he came out with hair, and he's like, I'm not only the president, I'm a client. So I'm not only the president of FNCAcademy, I am a client. I'm using the tools. And Savvy was doing such a great job. If y'all been seeing her success with hot zones, I said, let me try hot zones. I might have to get on. Savvy will be teaching hot zones tomorrow night. I might need to get on her session because hers are playing out better than mine. I'm drawing zones and they ain't getting, I don't know. It's something in my setup. The zones are playing out, but they're not activating. So I got to see what I'm doing wrong. Maybe my confirmation. But the history, it did take that GJ that I didn't call last night, but I did drop y'all that chart. So if y'all had drawn it on your hot zone, it would have taken the trade for you. That is free to y'all. Yes, I'm a product of the product. How many people in the academy are actually using hot zone? Because it's free. I'll see your hot zones took a trade and you didn't realize it. That's the same with me. If I just muted myself while I was talking because the dog was barking. If you are in mastery or novice, this EA is in your course for free. And for those who don't understand what it is, see, go to your course and download it. Like GU, I should have had this chart marked up here. And when it broke out, it would put me in the trade. So I don't know. And I was hoping that this would kick in, but I gotta go steal some settings from somebody. That's why I said, let me sit down and learn to use this stuff so I can promote it. So I did get one trade. So I'm sure I'll get more, but I'm doing it on an actual live challenge. So I got balls of steel. Hey, you gotta pay to play. Scared money don't make money and all that other stuff. But my scared money is trading at half risk as I learned these tools and as I which I had used the TA before, but I was just trading manually. But since I'm on this challenge, I'm definitely using. I was hoping it would, like yesterday while we were on, it hit a TP and closed the trade while we were on here. So I was hoping it would do that for us today. For those of y'all who don't know, shameless plug and no shame in my game at all. We do have a prayer group if y'all want to join the prayer group. I hadn't posted in there this morning. I usually do every morning, and I got busy today, so I had to go in there and ask for some forgiveness because I still got to do my morning prayer. I believe in starting the day off with prayer, and I got busy taking my grandson to school and calling these trades, and that's something I don't want to let Forex stand in the way of me doing what I need to do. But we had a drop, base, drop, drop, base, drop, drop, base, drop for those who trade supply and demand. For those who trade the order blocks at the price consolidated here, this order block closed below these lows. This order block got mitigated. Closed below, this order block got mitigated. So we teach smart money concepts. Gabby does an excellent job. I've taught it in the past, but we have Gabby now who's like an expert at ICT/SMC. He teaches that. We teach market structure, smart money, and supply and demand at the academy because we believe that you shouldn't come here and learn to trade one way, the way Gigi trades or the way so-and-so trades. Like you should be able to learn multiple concepts because everybody is going to see the market differently. And you need to be able to trade the market in a manner that you can understand, that you can connect the dots and you can make money. So if it's smart money, we got you. If it's supply and demand, we got you. If it's market structure, we got you. If you're like me and you combine the three, I got you. Because I have noticed that sometimes the market switches algorithms. Sometimes you'll see it playing by just pure market structure. Sometimes you'll see it playing by SMC concepts. And so like when the SMC concepts aren't working and those order blocks aren't doing what they're supposed to do, it's like they switch to SND. And then I'm watching to see if that zone holds or if it breaks and the supply becomes demand or demand becomes supply. So if they did the same thing every single day, all the time, we would all be rich. So they switch it up on you. Sometimes I see 1 hour structure playing out where all the other time frames look confusing. So I stick to what the 1 hour is doing, or maybe I see the 4 hour, because remember, everything is like a domino effect. All the dominoes are stacked up. All the time frames, when they're in alignment, they're stacked up. They're doing the same thing. One has to flip before the next flips, before the next flips, before the next flips. Okay. So you have to follow each time frame and what it's doing and understand in order to understand the entire market. So like those of you who've seen people line up those dominoes, the first one has to flip before the second has to flip before the third. So this would be like your 1 hour, your 4 hour, your daily, your weekly, your monthly, so to speak. So hopefully that makes sense. But that's it for today. The tax class, the free tax class is Thursday night. Chelsea, when are you doing this? Oh yeah, and Gabby did drop some trade setups he's looking at. Y'all, he has high probability setups because he is very by the book. Chelsea, when is your tax?
The tax class will be Thursday night at 7 p.m. Eastern,
I'm gonna
and it
put-
will be recorded. So if you all, I know we did a poll to see what was best for everybody, and that was the prime time that everybody chose. So it will be recorded and shared after if you miss it.
Okay, so here is the flyer. It's Thursday, January 25th, 7 p.m. Eastern. And the link will be on ForexNChill Academy.com. There is a whole tab for the startup group, but we can drop the Zoom link here as well. But we'd like for you to go register for it. Here is the actual link. Right here. And I think Gabby just gave us an update. Speaking of Gabby, y'all, Gabby is so disciplined. He's a funded trader. He's from Africa. He does amazing things in the market. So these are his setups. Like I was in that oil buy and got stopped. Y'all, he dropped this earlier. I hope y'all saw this. He dropped this earlier. So if you had set up your hot zone, or if you had set up an alert and re-emulated that on your chart, you should be in that trade. So not everybody is going to say buy now, sell now, but look, this is before. So that's his after. He was expecting that fair value gap to get touched. So just, yeah, he trades, he uses MT4 and MT5. So I'm like, you know what? Let me start using my MT5. And like I said, I noticed yesterday that it's best to trade off the prices and the imbalances and the order blocks and stuff off of your MT4. You can use TradingView as a gauge for overall structure, but if you're going to come in and tap into a trade on like the lower time frame, like just say this is a 4 hour and you're waiting for price to come give you a reaction on the 5 minute, come over to your MT4 or MT5 to look for that break, your fair value gap, imbalance, and all that, and get your retest, your entry there. And you definitely always use your stop losses according to your broker. And don't forget to calculate broker spread. And your TPs should go according to your broker. These prices on indices are not going to match TradingView. Okay. So you see prices consolidating, not wanting to break through here yet, but I'm going to hold it and just, I'm going to let the TA, I'm not going to touch these trades. I'm not going to close anything. If it comes back, takes me out at break even, it takes me out at break even. Why am I doing that? I'm working on getting the proper settings for my trading style. And some days it's going to come and melt or fly, and I'm going to get big moves. And some days it's going to be choppy, and I'll get taken out at break even and maybe miss some pips. But our number one rule as investors and traders is to protect. As long my money is protected right now, no matter what happens, I'm getting out. Our number one job is to protect the money we have. And our number two is to grow or compound money we have. If you focus on protecting the money, the growing is going to come easier. If you get scared and nervous and shaking and sweaty, then you've probably over leveraged or you weren't sure of your entry. So, working on my psychology, getting a mindset coach was the best thing I ever did for my trading. It's like now, if I have a loss, I really don't care. I mean, I care is in fact, it's like, dang, that's some money I left on the table, but I'm not sitting here like nerves all tore up, shaking because I made a bad decision. I trust my analysis, and if it's invalidated, it's invalidated. I look for another setup, and I go back to see why my trade did not play out. So let's look at the 3 trades we're in, and we'll call it a wrap for today. But I wanted y'all to see again. If you only have time to work on one thing, what would be your first move on your extra items? Hot zone, trade assist. The thing about trade assist is you're going to own it for life. You don't have to be a part of the academy. Anybody anywhere in the world can buy trade assist. They'll be added to the course. And they get to see all the videos on how to set it up, how to use it. This is a tool that you're going to use forever. Hot zone. So TA is going to be for 2 things. If you take your own trades and you need proper risk management and trade management, like maybe you're not good. Like there were times where I'm sitting here telling myself, move up your stop loss, take profits. And I would not out of FOMO or greed, where the TA will do it. The TA does not have any feelings. It's going to move you up. It's going to take you out. So that's where the TA is going to help you. Also, if you're in a signals chat and you are asleep or busy or at work, when they call signal, it can read and it turns the signals into an EA. Yep. So yeah, when I first started selling the TA, it was $60 and it was basic, and I've done a lot of work and a lot of upgrades. That's why it costs more, but you can put it on your VPS and lock it to your VPS and put multiple accounts on it. And it's a product you're going to own for life. So you can never go wrong buying it. If you're taking your own trades, you need it. If you're taking signals, you need it. Hot zone is when you're learning to trade and you're learning to draw your high probability zones like Gabby gives you, or Justin, Brandy, Money Coach, Chelsea, Savvy, the guys calling signals like Francis and Dinah and Stuart. Like when we drop a chart with the zone, if you agree that it's a high probability zone, you can draw the zone on there and let the hot zone do the rest of the work, like you see with Savvy and others doing right now. Or if you're advanced enough that you know how to draw your own zones. So there's 2 ways you can use it, and it's free. So you can't go wrong with it because it's free. It will manage a trade just like the trade assist does. So it's a 2-way thing. It's going to allow you to copy from other educators. It's going to allow you to do your own trades, and you can use it on any time frame. So let's just say that you trade 15-minute order blocks. You can draw it around a 15-minute order block. If it has a breakout here, it's going to take it, and it will put the stop loss according to how you want it. Do you want it above that high, or do you want it above that order block, or do you want it X amount of pips? It's going to take profit and trail according to how you set it. Do you want it to trail every 10 pips, or do you want it to trail every 1R or every 100 points? When do you want it to partial? Do you want it to partial at 1R or at TP1 that you set, or how X amount of pips? So it's hot zone is worth a lot of money, and y'all get it free. It's worth a lot of money. These tools were developed to help people who don't know how to control risk management and trade management, or people who were missing trades. And US30 is coming back up. So yeah, it's going to be one of these days. Same thing that NAS did yesterday. But I'm trying to go slow on these and just use the tools and not do anything careless. No, my personal account, that's a whole different story. All right, where are the trades? GU has less manipulation. It's a Forex pair. So now we just need to see it right here. So what do I expect for this long term? Let me look at and you see here's the zone I had given y'all. Had you drawn a hot zone or set an alert and waited for a break and retest on a lower time frame, you would be up way more. You would be up like over 60 pips. I don't know if anybody took it from that zone. Let's look at all time frames. So if this daily closes lower, we could see it come all the way back down here. Dang, I'm so mad I'm not in this trade. Now you see it's reacting off of a monthly order block and a weekly supply zone. I don't consider this a high probability order block because there was no imbalance there to get filled. It had already been mitigated. So that's why I look at it as supply and demand. People argue about the difference in order blocks and supply and demand. The way I view order blocks, this is not a high probability order block because it had been mitigated. But I'm viewing it as a supply and demand zone because it's failing to break and it's rejecting there. And last week closed lower. At that zone last week closed lower. So I'm treating, like I said, you can see a setup on supply and demand, or you can see a setup on smart money. What is the market doing at this time? Okay. So both. Plus looking at the supply and demand aspect, you had a high, a low, a higher high. This caused a break of structure. Okay. And look, it hit it to the, y'all just saw me draw that without even trying. It like hit it to the pip almost right there. That was the candle that caused that lower break that you can't see it on candles. Here you can see it on the line chart. And that's off the weekly. We can get down to the nitty-gritty on the weekly. So sometimes when you can't see smart money, look at it from a supply and demand aspect. Okay. Plus we had an ascending channel where price is just creeping up. We want to see a break and a retest, and then we can get a swing. Okay. If this breaks, then I would be looking to come down to here. This is on the weekly, so that would be a big move. If the dollar flies up, let's see. So how do I gauge these? I look at my futures. Currency futures. Here's the dollar. If the dollar flies up to here, that's good for GU to keep selling. Great British Pound. Great British Pound hit a supply and reacted. Okay. And what does it look like? It looks like that GU chart. So if you're following GU, definitely track. This is the British Pound futures because there is no such thing as GBPUSD. There are dollars and there are pounds, and they're being traded against each other. So if the dollar is strong and the pound is weak, GU is going to sell. It looks like it's continuing to drop. Congrats to those who are in GU. I'm not, and I'm salty. GU in profit. US30 zigzagging, but still in profit. NAS still consolidating. Okay, so this is smart money divergence. Your indices are doing several things. All right, everybody, that's it. God bless you. Thank you for being on here. I'll upload the recording for you guys like I did yesterday. Thanks. Shout out to Andy for editing the video for me. And we got more sessions coming up. We got John on here. Shout out to John for getting a Nova payout. He uses a lot of the EAs and indicators in addition to his manual trades, and he got himself a payout. So shout out to him. He'll be helping you guys a lot with the EAs and doing some EA sessions coming up. And show you guys how he's killing the market with these EAs. All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a good evening, good morning, and good afternoon, wherever you are. Bye-bye.